Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh and in this video we shall discuss the feature news for today, 17th of March 2022. Today's feature news is on a topic widely debated for a month now. The topic is the economic impacts of Russia-Ukraine war. And in this discussion, we will understand the impact of Russia-Ukraine war not only on Russia, not only on Ukraine, but the whole world, how it is getting affected economically. And we will also understand more than anything what have been the impacts on India, the positive impacts and something that India must work upon to eliminate or reduce the negative impacts on the country, right? So questions could largely be from this arena, but because a war of this nature, this huge strategy nature has happened, it also is going to impact how we prepare for UPSC examination and how questions could be asked. So let us look at all of these aspects in totality. And before that, let me share with you that Russia, a country which has got around 15 crore population, right? So amongst the most populated countries, Russia is among the top 10 countries. Ukraine is not. Ukraine has got a 4 crore population, right? On the other hand, Russia's size, it is the largest country in the whole world by size, right? And this country has got a lot of resources, but the resources that are present, they are not diverse. It has got huge quantity of resources, but not diversity. It can be very clearly seen in the kind of export it does. So it exports crude oil, right? It exports refined oil, the oil which is refined and gas products are sold. Natural gas is sent abroad. Along with that, metals are sent abroad. Some chemicals which are processed from this setup itself, they are sent abroad. Some machinery equipments, if created, they are sent abroad. Science, technology, machinery equipments, nuclear equipments, defense equipments, they are sent abroad. Along with that, some minor level of precious metals and food is sent abroad. So largely not as diversified as required by the whole world, but yes, concentrated resources for mineral and gases and petroleum products. This is what Russia is about, right? And when you see where all Russia does export, for example, crude oil and petroleum products, gases, where does it export to? To OECD, European countries. Netherlands, Germany, Poland, Finland, they have been the major receivers of this. Then we have Belarus, Lithuania. These are other countries which have received, Russia's petroleum exports. And then in Asia, we have China, India, Japan. China and Japan majorly for petroleum exports. Russia has also offered a lot of crude, petroleum to India as well at subsidized cost. Whereas we receive this as premium, Asian premium from the Middle East, Russia has offered this at subsidized cost to India. So this is some opportunity for us which we can pick up. USA also has been receiving, but now no more. USA has completely sanctioned Russian imports. All right, but it has very strategically done it because USA knows it does not need. See, the level of imports to USA is hardly any. It will not get impacted, right? But we will understand the impact on USA also. Not that USA is completely exempted from the impacts. Moving ahead, most important export partners, who are they? Russia's are China, and then some European economies, Netherlands, Germany, Belarus, Turkey. What are these? European countries or OECD countries? Even South Korea is an OECD country, Italy. Some economies like Kazakhstan, UK, USA. So India, point being that India does not figure in the top 10 countries in the Russian most important export partners. That means India is not getting chiefly impacted. India is getting impacted, but not the most impact. The most impact will be felt in European economies. This is very much clear from the image here. China will not be impacted because China and Russia trade has only increased with time. I have shown you this in multiple times that China and Russia post 2014 sanctions, after the Crimean annexation, the Russia and China friendship, it has only strengthened, right? All-weather friendship has strengthened. The petroleum exports to China have been diversified. Gas exports. If Europe curtails, if Germany curtails its production, or if the Nord Stream, if the project does not complete the second part, even in that case, Russia says we will diversify our exports of petroleum. We will still get the finances. So when USA, European Union had said that this will be a catastrophe in case Russia attacks, Russia was well prepared about it, right? We see this through many other images. For example, Russia's growing trade with China. Have a look. 2010, 11, 12, 13. The exports were only limited. Exports. Russian growing exports. This red bar, maroon bar is the exports. China's exports to Russia were more. But after 2014, we see that the red bars slowly and steadily have started to increase. And you can see in 2021, the exports to China have increased to a very, very good level. This is what is sustaining Russian economy for now, an economy with 14 crore people, right? So this is what is happening here. But we have, on the other hand, Ukraine with an economy of around 4 crore people. But before that, let us understand Russia and EU partnership also, because Russia exports to EU and EU also exports to Russia. So if we understand, if Russia is not able to export to EU, can we export something to EU? Let's see that. So Russian export to EU has 70% been oil, gas and coal. So we can't participate because we ourselves are importers of coal, gas and oil. Yeah. So we cannot export most of the 70% products which are imported by European Union. And then we have other products, for example, chemicals, aluminium, agricultural food. So aluminium, I'm not sure, chemicals, not sure, but then processed chemicals, for example, pharmaceuticals, yes, we can export to Europe. What about agricultural food? Absolutely, India has been exporting, and this is where India will receive the advantage of this. So please take a note on agricultural food products. Prime Minister has already mentioned we must take advantage of a situation like where we need to export more wheat. Why wheat? We will know. EU exports to Russia. See, Russian economy is also getting impacted, no? So EU will have lesser ways to sell its items, machinery, equipment, cars, trucks, pharmaceuticals, plastic, agricultural food. EU exports to Russia, it will not be able to send as much, right? Where will it sell? There will be more competition in these products. The price will drop for these products in international market, right? So this is an indicator for us that these sectors will not be as competitive. In fact, they will be more competitive in time because the prices will drop in case availability is more. Supply chain, simple, right? So this is how you can gauge what is the impact going to be on. Look at the wheat exports, the major wheat exporters of the world. Russia, world's largest wheat exporters in 2020, Russia, Ukraine, and then comes France and Ukraine. The point and then we have Canada also in between. So point I'm mentioning is that these are the largest wheat exporters. India also will have a record wheat production, 100 million tons plus wheat, 100 million ton plus rice, right? But then we save it largely, and we also fill our Food Corporation of India, reserves. But then reserves have also gotten low because of COVID times. Not a lot of places where food could be produced. So we exported a lot of food in the last 2 years. And now because of this impact, human created impact, and we are going to see more exports of wheat. So this is where the opportunity for India is. Russia and Ukraine, both of them export a lot of wheat products. India will get the opportunity right here, right? Major wheat exporters. But then moving to Ukraine's economy, you see Ukraine projected share of world exports. Ukraine was supposed to export sunflower oil, corn. This portion is, the blue portion is the one which Ukraine is supposed to export. Barley, rapeseed, wheat. Ukraine is supposed to export, but will it be able to export? The people who are teaching, simple example is the people who are teaching in institutions to Indian students, they are now defending the country, right? They are participating by giving something to the soldiers, food to eat, right? Shelter. This is what is happening in Ukraine. So whenever a country is in a state of war, that is the time when the country is not able to manufacture or give services. So all these items Ukraine will not be able to service or produce, right? So and similar with Russia, and that is the reason I am talking of population all the time. Only 4 crore of population in Ukraine, and out of that around 55 million of the population will be forcefully displaced out of Ukraine, right? This is half crore, 1/8 of the population will be displaced forcefully out of the country itself. How will they be able to participate in agriculture? I wonder. This is not possible. So when you see Ukraine's agricultural exports around the whole world, India is 8.3% recipient of it. 8.3% of agricultural exports of Ukraine. This is completely going to get demolished, not only for now but times to come. If you saw today's current affairs discussion, I discussed thermobaric bombs, I discussed phosphoric bombs. When these bombs are going to impact humans in times to come, these will keep burning in times to come. Suddenly they'll catch flame just like sodium. In that case, if it impacts humans, imagine the impact on agriculture. This is not going to yield a lot of returns, right? Even if it does, then there will be other non-tariff barriers. For example, the quality of the product that gets created here, right? But then can you look at the impact on US's economy? Let's see. This is the inflation level in USA. It was traditionally below 2%, 1 to 2%, but then now it has shot above in 2022 above 2%, 2.4%. The inflation levels in USA have gone high, not that it is primarily impacted because of the war, but because of the global crisis, right? The availability of oil, the availability of gases, the availability of food, all this is impacting the availability and international prices of items all throughout the world. Not only that, USA is also facing this heat. USA has got other ways in which it is getting impacted. That is internal story of USA. For example, high levels of inflation, high levels of real estate value, right? Coinciding but lesser levels of wages in USA, rental incomes, all those are rental rates are very, very high. So this creates a high impact on USA. But then USA has been impacted. All the world countries around the world have gotten impacted. The world's largest crude oil producing country, see, Russia is the one in brown color, see. So Russia has been one of the largest crude oil exporting countries, producing and exporting countries, right? Not a huge population, but who to sell to the world around? It will get impacted because many countries are going to ban Russian oil production or imports, and not in case ban, but then in times to come they have plans to restrict Russian imports to their own countries. So this is going to impact Russia's economy and the global economy. But then how India? Let's see. See, India's top exports, we must know that, and top imports. If we know that, we will be able to decipher if we are getting impacted, because if we import something, is Russia going to help here or Russia not going to help? See, petroleum is one of the largest imports, $100 billion import of petroleum. But thankfully, we do not import much from Russia. But even in that case, Russia says, we will give you, we're not selling it to European Union, we'll give you. So good enough. Gems and jewelry, we import them, we also process and send it back, right? Then electronics, we import a lot, but then what about the nuclear electronics, nuclear components, defense components? Russia is one of the major, source destinations. Around 60 to 70% we still have, whatever we have, we owe it to Russia. Right? Chemical import, largely from countries like China. We do import machinery import from around the world, developed countries, Russia being one, getting impacted, absolutely. But top exports, do we export to Russia? No, not much. The total trade between Russia and India is $10 billion. The total trade between India and Ukraine is hardly $3 billion. So therefore, in those terms, we are not getting impacted. But because of the world supply chain, it is all linked because of globalization, we will get impacted. We are already getting impacted. India's inflation level, CPI already exceeded 6. Yesterday only we spoke of this. The WPI inflation level, wholesale price index already has risen up because of supply constraints. Past 1 year, 12% plus. This is what is going to impact the Indian economy. See, when we export also, we export petrol, processed petrol products majorly. Then gems, jewelry, transport parts, machinery, pharmaceuticals, plastic, electronics, right? These are the commodities that we export, fabric, metal products. So this is what is going to get impacted. But then are we exporting it to Russia? No problem then, all right. The world is getting fragmented. There will be lesser purchasing power at various places. That is absolutely true. So indirectly we will face this impact, and this reflects very well in everyday's stock market as well. All right. So the day war was waged, the stock market everywhere around the world went down. Not only Russia went down by as much as 50% at some moment in a single day. But then world around, it also impacted 3-4% the same day. But then Russia exports, Ukraine exports some important products. For example, titanium in uses in creation of aviation devices. Right, titanium, even lighter than aluminium, is used for creation of those devices which can fly up high above. So that export, neon is utilized in electronics industry. It is further going to accentuate the semiconductor crisis around the whole world. What to do? We will have to face this. Everybody will have to face this. Wheat export, we will have to create an opportunity for ourselves. Technology, we will have to diversify now. We will have to diversify partners so that we can get phased manufacturing programs in India. I keep repeating these words: phased manufacturing programs, make in India, design link incentive, and production link incentive. Start using these words, right? These are going to be the important linkages for your answers. All right. Along with that, we have to diversify our trade. There will be liquidity crunch. There will be crunch for selling tea, coffee, because Russia and Ukraine, we would export tea, coffee there. Pharmaceuticals will be affected. So we will have to look for partners in the middle and long run and try to ensure that we diversify. Thankfully, we are not getting much impacted, but the impact will still be felt because of the global supply chain in the economy, right? So when you see India's biggest trade partners, UAE, China, USA, these are amongst the biggest trading partners. All of these three countries, UAE, China and USA, to be taken together, right? Saudi Arabia, Switzerland, Germany, Iraq, Singapore, Hong Kong, Indonesia. So thankfully, not figuring in that list is our Russia and Ukraine. So this is a savior, but then still somebody or the other is getting impacted, and this is where if India can gain some supremacy, India should look at it. If it is getting impacted, it should diversify its outreach, right? So this is how you must look at this particular news. What did we cover today? We covered variety of aspects here about the economic impacts of Russia-Ukraine war. Right, we understood Russia's economy, we understood Ukraine's economy, export and import of both these countries. We understood what are India's exports and imports. Very smartly, we understood this, and we correlated what we can export and what we can import, agriculture products. Right, we can partner in that. We can send anything that European Union requires, pharmaceutical products, chemicals to them, processed chemicals to them. Right. On the other hand, we will get impacted by having more outreach destinations for wheat and agricultural produces, right? We will get impacted negatively also because pharmaceutical, we will not be able to sell tea, coffee, we will not be able to get titanium and neon and many other ingredient components. What about the spare parts of machineries for defense products from Ukraine? We were importing them, we will not be able to get it. So we have to look at this in totality and also look at the solution which I just shared, phase manufacturing program in India, diversifying of the partnership by India. So this is how we complete the feature news for today, that is on the economic impacts of Ukraine and Russia war, right? So through this, I would like you to quickly note down the important points. If there are questions, please put them down in the comment section. I will get back to you, and happy Holi to all of you. Have a good time. But then please remember, your celebration is the celebration of the examination and preparation for that every day. And that is why prepare notes, revise them. We will see you on Monday evening for the current affairs discussion. Thank you for watching.